7차 스타비제 리그 8강의 D조 두 번째 경기입니다. 구성은 여기서 정신 차리고 해야 되고요. 하는 선수는 여유 있는 이 플레이 계속 유지해줘야 됩니다. 자, 경기.
Oh shit, it's Bose! Everybody say hi to Bose. Bose Bios. Oh, I missed the cheers. Shit, sorry. Alright, whatever. In the top left is the yellow Protoss. We will have Sky, the dirty 10-15 Gator, who is up 1-0 over Hiya. And Hiya will be the red turn at the bottom right. We are on Electric Circuit. Now, the funny thing is that this map is also quite good for sneaky proxy robo shenanigans. But I don't know if Sky would try something like that 2 games in a row. In fact, I think Electric Circuit is actually better for the build that Sky just did compared to Jade, because there's a lot of space in the main. There's that, you know, that loopy ridge thing around the back leading to your back door, so it's like easier to elevator stuff in. And also it's a flat map with no ramp, so 10-15 gate is even stronger. So if Sky actually like does the same thing where he 10-15 gates into proxy robo, it could just work anyway. Or alternatively, you could do something completely opposite, like I don't know, 12 next or something into the back. Since you do have that back protected mineral only, like 12 nexing or even 14 CCing is not too uncommon on this map. But it looks like that's not what's happening. I think there is a gateway in Sky's base. Yes, there is. And so this probe, doing a gateway scout, as before, looks like he's going to go to the top right. Not going to see anything there. Meanwhile, Mr. Hiya is building his barracks. Very good, very good. Looks like the obs is pointing out that there are some mineral patches there that probes can actually use quite easily to squeeze themselves through the back there. If you just run your probe up to the minerals and build a pylon and spam right click on the other side of the buildings, the probe will actually jump over. Like magic. I think SCVs can do it as well by building a depot. It's slightly different though. Basically, the way you do it with an SCV is you build a supply depot there right up against the thing, and you wait for the SCV to naturally swing onto the building during the the building animation, and then you hit, and then you just cancel the building and then spam right click. Or you just stop production. I think it's actually better if you tell it to stop building instead of canceling the building, so the building stays there and kind of blocks your path, and then the SCV just like glitches over. So you can do it with both races. I think it's slightly easier with Protoss though. Like most things. So we have a bit of an anti-zealot SimCity there with the depot next to the barracks and the factory right next to them. I like that positioning. It's a good idea to keep that factory next to that SimCity so that if zealots come in, like if you have them too far away, right? Even if you have a good SimCity there, this Protoss is going to be targeting the SCVs building your factory to delay that. So you want to have that in range of that little SimCity. What I don't like is that it's very far away from his mineral line, so that makes me, so if there was any kind of crazy early zealot aggression, that would be a bit tough for Hiya. Now it looks like it's going to be another 10-15 gate here from Sky, but this time it is going to be scouted, of course. There's no way for him to block this scout with that big wide open choke there. So yeah, as I said, 10-15 gate into proxy robo is very powerful, is even more powerful rather on this map. And I'm keeping an eye on the minimap. I'm looking at his probe, where it's going. It looks like it's hanging around outside the base there. So I'm very concerned that that's actually going to be another proxy. That probe is actually not going home. And I'm just looking at that probe. I'm like, when is it going to build the pylon? It's maybe he's just trying to figure out where he wants to build it. Interestingly, another SCV is actually swung around the bottom left, and oh, we actually have a bunker this time. Hiya not taking any chances whatsoever, but looks like the probe's actually just going back into the base. He's actually not going to be proxying anything for the time being. And by now it's probably too late, so yeah, this is going to be a straight up regular 10-15 gate. Hiya just being super careful this time. Meanwhile, probably going to be pushed away by these Marines. The Dragoons are actually not moving forward to attack. They're actually just staying here to, I guess, catch a scouting SCV. The scouting SCV is actually at the 9 o'clock there, just waiting for the Dragoons to leave. And he's actually going to expand now. Wow, this is... I guess he just figured that there's no... Oh, I'm sorry, that was a Vulture, not an SCV. Whoa! Well, that was a Vulture. Oh, man. Alright. But that Vulture is going to get caught by these Dragoons. Although, is he going to get in? Ah! He's going to get in. He's got one probe kill. He might get a second one. Ooh! Badass probe there. Snapping that Vulture's neck. Look at that. He even had minerals in his mouth. So yeah, so Sky's actually expanded, but the Vulture actually saw that, and Hiya's actually expanded to his back mineral only as well, which is very, very interesting. I mean, it's, you know, it's one of the peculiarities of this map, that back mineral only. And so Hiya, you know, even though he was playing very defensive here at the front of his base, now feels comfortable enough to push out, and he might actually double expand here. It looks like he's going to double expand. He is actually going to double expand, so taking both the natural and the back mineral only off just a single factory. Of course, something that you can basically only do on maps like this, where you have that protected back mineral only. I saw a lot of people earlier in the chat making reference to Medusa, in fact, which was a very similar dynamic. And, uh-oh, was that a Citadel? I think I saw a Citadel there. Ooh, that's interesting. Are we going to have like a 2-base Arbiter follow-up? Or something like that? Ugh. Ugh. Stargate. No, just an Archives. Stargate. That's weird. If you're going for 2-base Arbiter, you're supposed to build a Stargate before the Archives. Because the Stargate takes slightly longer to build. But it is going to be a Stargate, okay. He might go for like 2 DTs first, and then go for an Arbiter. So that's why he wants the Archives first. But actually, I don't know if you can afford that gas-wise. Maybe you can just make 1 DT first? I'm not really sure. But yep, going for 2-base Arbs. And this is going to be very interesting because... So 2-base Arbiter, it's kind of flexible in the mid-game. So basically, the flexibility comes in whether you get Recall first or Stasis first. Normally you get Stasis first. However, if you see the Terran is going for some super greedy build like this, where he's going to have very, very few units and is just relying on like some solid defense at his natural to hold off the Protoss, if you just go for fast recall and it's like recall onto the mineral only or recall into the main, that can be devastating for the Terran. So it'll be interesting to see what Sky goes for here. I mean, it's almost always Stasis though, and the thing is, when you go for 2-base Arbiter, your Robo is so delayed, so it's not like he's going to have an OBS out to see what's going on here. I don't really see how Sky would know that this is a fast 3-base here from Hiya. Anyway, I guess we'll see. You'd have to have some sick game sense to know what's going on here. Because really, I'm just thinking here, there's really no way for him to know unless he is he DT dropping? Is that why he went for the faster Archives? No, don't tell me there's 2 DTs in that shuttle. Do not tell me there's 2 DTs in that shuttle. I didn't think he would have enough gas for that. Oh man, so that's why he got the faster Archives here before the Stargate, because he was going for a DT drop. But man, that's so expensive. You got the 200 gas for the Robo, you got the 200 gas for the Archives. What is it? 150 for a Stargate, and then 100 for each DT. Actually, wait, is it 100 for a DT? I think it's 100 for a DT. Man, that's a billion gas. How the hell is he getting this much gas? Anyway, there are the DTs, and this comm set's already done, but the problem is that there's a shuttle there, so as soon as the scan goes down, he can pick the DTs up into the shuttle, and then just walk away from the scan and wait for the scan to wear off. And then you know, the scan was completely wasted, and there's no turrets anywhere. Oh man, it's gonna be so annoying. Such a pain. So there's the first scan, and as I said, just immediately picking that up. The good thing is, though, that there's already an armory, so he can actually build a Goliath now to shoot that shuttle, and kind of put a time limit on how long these DTs will stay effective. You see, there's the Goliath to take down the shuttle, and he's actually got a turret on the upper side as well, so I don't know if this shuttle can actually escape anymore. He's going to have to just abandon the DTs and just... Oh, he doesn't even drop one! I thought there was at least 1 DT alive in there. He doesn't actually drop it. It might have been because it was on the cliff, so it couldn't actually drop it. So Hiya actually defends the DT drop, taking relatively little damage there. Only a few SCVs, I think, and was there did a Sea Shank go down there? A Sea Shank might have gone down. But that was really not effective at all for Sky. However, he does still have the Arbiter follow-up, So he's still okay, but the thing is, you know, he just now added the 3rd and 4th gateway, so he doesn't have a very big ground army, and more importantly, he's tipped off Hiya to what he was thinking. So he showed the fast DT tech. Hiya knows about it now, and very likely knows that, you know, the standard transition from that is to go for relatively quick arbiters. So Hiya should be very well prepared for this, and is now going to start laying some spider mines around the map. Just to give himself some vision, and also to block off that 9 o'clock expansion. Although it looks like a probe is heading to the 12 o'clock to take that base for Sky. The thing is, I mean, Sky, he needed to do damage with that DT drop. He was behind, because Hiya did a greedy, you know, double expand build. And the thing is, Sky, not only did the DT drop do no damage, but he also went 10-15 gate, and did basically no damage with that. And 10-15 gate, actually, you're cutting your economy a little bit in the early game. Like, you're just cutting a few probes here and there, but because it's so early in the game, it actually does hurt you in the long run. So yeah, Sky is not really looking in good position right now. And look at that, 4 Goliaths actually out. That might be a bit excessive, unless he's just having those in preparation for those arbiters. Really wants to actually snipe that Obs here. If he can just scan it, he can definitely get it. And there is the first arbiter out. Sonic and his co-caster are laughing it up. I don't know what just happened. Maybe the guy just told a joke and it wasn't something in the game. Anyway, Sky has walled off the 12 o'clock. He hasn't taken the base yet though. And I think a Vulture is now poking it. Yeah, it looks like a couple of Vultures are poking it. That's a very interesting wall there. I feel like it's relatively easy for Vultures to push themselves over that, but I'm not really sure. It looks, I mean, when you make diagonal pylons like that, it is Vulture type, but I think, was it Free who demonstrated last season that it was that you could just push Vultures over pretty easily with mines? I'm not really sure. Although I guess since he's a, you know, as a pro gamer, maybe he made it look easy, but actually it's really hard. Anyway, forward turret being planted here. Just to give some advance warning, and looks like now the ground forces are moving out. One poor little Vulture stuck back there. Oh, actually no, maybe he's just patrolling around. Oh no, actually I think he is stuck. He is properly stuck. Meanwhile, the 12 o'clock base has now been planted, but that's not going to be operational for a little while. So for the time being, it is just a 3 base versus 3 base, with Hiya's 3 bases having come up way earlier than Sky's. Sorry for this lag, by the way. As I said, there's unfortunately not too much I can do about it. I can like pray to the internet gods, but that's about it. But in the meantime, that's actually quite a few gateways here. What is that, like 7, 8 gateways? Or no, that's like 10 gateways? 11 gateways? I think that was 11 gateways in total, plus the Stargate. So Sky's production, his infrastructure is actually getting up quite nicely. And he's just running around with his group of Dragoons just to clear spot of mines. Very, very standard. And there's a recall in the middle only! There's a recall! The observer's not paying attention! There's a recall! Oh, Nico! What a Chobo Obs. Chobo Obs. Anyway, looks like this is going to force the command center to lift. I don't think it's going to kill the command center. Oh, he's targeting out an armory though. He might get one of the armories. That would be absolutely crucial. His mass SCVs repairing it. The armory actually survives. Oh wow, so he doesn't get the command center or the armory. He does get just a couple of turrets and depots, I guess, and SCVs. But this is not nearly as effective as it could have been here for Sky. And while this was going on, another command center going up at the 6 o'clock. However, a bunch of Dragoons are going down, probably going to force a cancel on that command center. And yeah, that's going to have to be cancelled. Meanwhile, though, the forces in the main base are going to get cleaned up here. The Arbiter even goes down. Looks like a couple of random units just kind of hiding at the back there. Maybe we'll go back and harass that base later on when there's a big engagement or something. But no, looks like they're just going to get cleaned up now. So the command center floating back. And man, I'm not really sure how effective that was. I mean, Sky, you know, he lost a whole recall's worth of units there and didn't really kill that much. But he did buy himself a lot of time. I mean, he kept Hiya in his base, forced him back there, and just bought himself some time. See, now Sky's 4th base is up, and also while that attack was going on, of course, he denied Hiya's 4th base. So now he's on 4 base against 3, and this is kind of more where the game should be, I suppose. You know, Protoss kind of needs to be a base ahead of Terran for the game to be roughly even. So if Sky can just keep holding off Hiya and keep getting his infrastructure up. Looks like another recall actually in the back there, and this time it's on top of a load of siege tanks. A lot of Zealots recalled. It wasn't the perfect recall, but I think it's going to be fairly cost effective anyway, just because there's so many tanks splashing each other here on those Zealots. And looks like this time, once again, just doesn't kill like doesn't kill the command center, but does kill a few siege tanks there. And more importantly, he just mainly that recall was actually mainly zealots, which are fairly expendable. So I think that one was I mean, I guess slightly more effective. I'm not really sure here. What's really gonna show whether these recalls were actually worth it or not is when the Terran army actually moves out. The relative strength of the Terran army, like when Hiya decides he's had enough, he's got enough defenses, he just wants to go kill the Protoss. When that time comes and he moves out, how strong is Sky's army going to be? Will he have enough units to actually stop that big push rather than doing all these silly little recalls here? That's really going to be the telling factor of whether this was actually all worth it or not. Because that's really the whole point of these recalls. He's not really expecting to do devastating damage, even though you certainly have the possibility. Really just trying to keep the Terran back and build up your own infrastructure and macro. I mean, as we can see, Sky's actually gotten the 9 o'clock base as well while all this was going on. But unfortunately for Sky, or at least not yet unfortunately, it will be unfortunate for him if he recalls onto that minefield, because Hiya's got a really good preparation now for a recall. The interesting thing though is that if Hiya actually sends SCVs to mine that mineral only, and a recall goes down, he could actually just blow up all of his own SCVs as well. So a bit of a double-edged sword there. But I think maybe blowing up, 40 supply in Protoss units is worth a small mineral line there. I mean, it is like a half value mineral line, if that makes sense. It's only got like 5 patches there, so there won't be an excessive number of SCVs there. Actually, it's got 6 patches now. I'm sorry, because it's a new version of this map. And oh, look at this Sky! Sky actually recalls exactly where there are no mines there. He recalls a little bit further back and doesn't actually take that much damage from the mines here. I don't know whether I guess he must have expected that Hiya would have laid those mines there to trap him, and so he just recalled in the perfect position there. Wow, Sky, really nice job there. But Hiya though is actually pushing off with looks like half of his army though. There is a big red blob just under Sky's 4th base, so it looks like Hiya doesn't want to keep his entire army back to defend these recalls. But this time the command center does actually go down. And Sonic is so excited that he decides to open Windows Movie Maker and make a highlight reel of this recall, while the game is not even over yet. No, it looks like that's not the army, that's just a bunch of vultures. What the hell is going on there with these vultures? I don't even know. So actually, it looks like Hiya just wanted to do some counter harass, but man, he's in big trouble now. But it looks like this massive vulture is going to take down these cannons easy peasy. There's no way that these 3 cannons are going to hold off that many vultures. I mean, normally, you make a few cannons and you feel safe against vulture harass, but once it gets to this level of vultures, and also these vultures are actually 2-1 upgraded as well, and cannons actually don't get, or rather I should say static defenses don't benefit from upgrades, so they actually don't scale into the late game. So once you go into the late game, actually, even vultures can be quite effective against cannons. Anyway, looks like both players kind of stabilizing. The problem though is that Hiya is now down to just his main and natural, which are probably getting close to mined out. Rebuilding that 3rd command center, and I actually don't know what Hiya can do right now. He's in a lot of trouble right now. Is Hiya really going to go down 0-2 to Sky? Oh my goodness, we could actually just end up having 2 3-0s here today. That'd be pretty crazy. So, whoa, it's like a bit of a mind blast going off there. That's still a pretty scary looking Terran army, but there's not much behind it though. There's no economy supporting it. Not going to be many reinforcements for very long. So I think Hiya probably just has to get it done with this army. He's got to win the next, basically there's going to be like a big engagement here with Sky's army trying to get a good position in the middle of the map against this this big Terran death ball. And it might just come down to that one engagement. If Hiya can win that convincingly, he might still be able to take the game. But if Sky wins that engagement, or if Sky doesn't even win, if he loses but kills a lot of stuff, and then he'll still be fine because he can reinforce so much faster. So here's the engagement. This is not a good angle for Sky though. Look at that, losing a large number of dragoons there straight away. Oh man, that was a horrible place to engage for Sky. I mean, half of his army was coming sliding around the side there on the left side if you saw the minimap there, and wasn't even engaged. I don't know why he thought he should go there. He really should wait for the Terran army to move out a little bit more into the middle where there's a little bit more open space, and also while the tanks are out of position. And here we go. Looks like a nice stasis on just the one science vessel. I said that was nice, but I'm not actually sure now. Maybe better to save that for the tanks. Either way, Hiya is also at 3-2, I believe, and Sky's only at 2-0, so vastly out upgraded. But he's really got to go though. He's got to go fast because while all this is going on, Sky's he's adding gateways. I'm sure he's got more reinforcements coming out as you can see, and pretty soon there's just gonna be too many Protoss units. Even if they are out upgraded, even if the Terran army is ridiculously strong, it's just not gonna be enough here. And here we go. Sky's decided now is the time. A big stasis on the back tanks here, and another huge stasis on those tanks. Oh my god, the majority of the tanks are now in stasis. And this is going to be the end for Hiya. There's no chance for him anymore. He's got no reinforcements coming. It looked like he double expanded actually, taking the 6 o'clock and his mineral only at the same time, but it doesn't matter. His army is gone. He cannot hold the 6 o'clock. He might even just lose everything in his main as well if Sky just goes for a counterattack, but actually it looks like Sky took some pretty heavy losses as well, so actually Sky is actually going to pull back. I just said actually like 5 times in the same sentence. But, yeah, so Sky's actually left with just like 4 arbiters and a paltry ground force. So the 4 o'clock base, or sorry, the 4 o'clock, the 6 o'clock base, which is the 4th base of Hiya, is actually going to survive for now. And he should probably not clump those arbiters like that, or one EMP is just going to devastate him. But still, that's a big win for Sky. And meanwhile, he's got the top right expansion and what looks like a number of gateways there as well, which is really what he wants here. Once you go to the super late game in PvT, Protoss really needs a second gateway farm, which is what I call it. Basically, just needs to claim another main base and just build a million gateways there to reinforce. Because in the big battles, generally the Terran will get favorable engagements. Although it looks like another recall in the back, and oh my God, Hiya! I don't even know where his army is. I'm like looking at the minimap, trying to find a big blob of units. There's some blob in the middle there, but I think that's mostly vultures and mines. I don't think Hiya actually even has the forces to deal with this anymore. I don't know what Hiya's gonna do. He's just sacking all the SCVs there. He's gonna lose the command center for sure. What is Hiya even doing? Looks like he's pulling a couple of units back, but I don't really see what he even has left here. The command center goes down, and Sky's army is just kind of patrolling around the map, just doing whatever it wants. Alright, looks like there are a few units back at home now, so he is going to be able to clean up the recall. But Sky's army is just monstrously big, and looks like the last few tanks that were in stasis are now going to get cleaned up by Sky. Looks like they're still going to do a good amount of damage because there's no zealots with this force. It's entirely dragoons. Oh my god, are they actually going to kill them? Wow! Those tanks, I thought these were vultures, but actually they were the tanks that were in stasis from the previous battle. They're actually still strong enough to take down all those dragoons. So a small victory there for Hiya, but not sure if that's enough in the long run. And just a bit unfortunate there for Sky that he didn't have a few zealots. I mean, if he just had, like 4 or 5 zealots there just to tank the first few hits, I think he might have been able to take these down. Actually, I'm not sure. That's still a lot of sea shanks there. So, it's a bit tricky. And I mean, Hiya is now mining away from the 6 o'clock base. If he can maybe establish another base somewhere and just kind of hold the line, he might be able to pull off a comeback here. I mean, Sky's army is actually, after that recall has gotten cleaned up, it's actually not that big anymore. He should be reproducing relatively quickly though, so that's going to change. But this is very interesting. So a few vultures poking up here to the top. That's a cool looking little gateway farm there. Gonna run over to the mineral only, not gonna see anything there. They're just now gonna be annoying here and force the dragoons to move out of their way to kill them. And I'm looking at the minimap. I'm trying to just think where is the best place for Hiya to take his next base. Presumably the 3 o'clock is. Looks like he's got a patrolling vessel there now to EMP any incoming arbiters for recalls, but see, the problem is the 3 o'clock is like the closer base and might make the most sense to take, but his army is on the left side to defend the 6 o'clock. Or not really the left, but kind of in the middle. So it's not really in position to defend the 3 o'clock base. And, ooh, gets the EMP. Sick reaction there from Hiya. Very, very nice. Man, it is so hard to spot those as well, because the Arbiter was coming right along the edge of the map, so it's like, you have to really be paying attention on your minimap to see that. So no more annoying recall there. But again, I'm wondering if it might be better for Hiya to extend his line a little bit and just expand to the bottom left bases, instead of taking the 3 o'clock. But it does look like he's got something at 3 o'clock now, so maybe he's just going to take that base anyway. And meanwhile, that poor Arbiter with no energy is just trying to run around and figure out what he can do. But another Arbiter has actually peeled off. It's going to go for another recall attempt here. And will it get through this time? Does the vessel actually have enough energy to stop it? And he's going to try an EMP, and he does get the EMP off. Oh! Wait! What the fuck? What just happened? Jaehoon? Hold on, can somebody double check if that's Sky actually in the booth? What just happened? He hits the EMP, the recall somehow goes off, but only recalls and offs. I don't understand what the fuck is, because he wasn't even over a cliff, like, he was over land. There were ground units could definitely go there. I don't know what just happened, but a recall on the 6 o'clock though, and this one's gonna get through. But the army is there though. The entire Terran army is there. Now, is this recall gonna work? This time he's gonna get a recall. Yeah, this time another recall is going in, but the 6 o'clock recall gets completely annihilated. The recall on the middle only, I think, will be a little bit more successful. But the thing is, while these recalls are keeping Hiya pinned, and while they have been doing a decent amount of damage for Sky so far, if he keeps doing them, and if he makes too many bad recalls, like the one on the 6 o'clock there, he will eventually lose. Like, Hiya will just keep picking off his units for free, and eventually will have enough defenses, recall defenses, to move out with his main army and just crush the Protoss. And I'm actually getting a little bit nervous for Sky here. I mean, Hiya could definitely be making a sick comeback here. I thought for sure that after he lost that big engagement that he was done, but no, it looks like he's actually now moving across the middle of the map with a significant number of siege tanks. And here we go. Terran army. Where's the Protoss army? The Protoss army looks like it's just running through a minefield right now, just to try and engage the Terran army. A decent stasis on some back tanks. We need to have some really good stasis here if he wants to win this engagement. Pretty mess stasis there. Oh, but he's got so much energy though that he's just stasising everything. More units coming in from the side, but he doesn't have very many zealots. But it looks like the few zealot reinforcements from the top right are going to be enough here to maybe clean it up. No, it's not going to be enough. It is not enough, Sky! He stasised everything, but he didn't have the units to even win the engagement with half the Terran army in blocks of ice here, and Sky is now in big trouble, because now, when that Terran army comes out of stasis, he can actually push to the top right and kill the top right bases, and those are Sky's fresh expansions. And if he can take off those top right bases, then Sky's going to be in big trouble. Economy-wise, he'll be in the same position as Hiya. Oh man, I think Sky just wasted too many units there in a few bad recalls. And this is the result, and just isn't able to get good engagements here also in the middle of the map. And now, this base is definitely forfeit here. I'm wondering what he should do. Maybe he should just sack those bases and go for counterattacks or something. I'm really not sure what Sky's best option is right now. But, Anyway, the 3 o'clock base, by the way, it looks like there's a command center there, or it looks like there's been a building there the whole game, but I don't see any SCVs mining, so, I don't actually know what that is. Maybe it's just some other floating building like the science facility or something, just a spot for recalls. Anyway, this 9 o'clock base is actually going to go down to a few siege tanks here. Oh man, there's actually not enough Protoss units nearby to actually stop it. And looks like this actually could be another big deciding engagement here. All the zealots just evaporating immediately. And even though there's no supporting units for the siege tanks, there's no zealots either, so it doesn't even matter. Sky forced to pull back once again. The 9 o'clock base has gone down. It looks like, though, the top right natural was somehow saved. At least for the time being. So if those probes transfer over, I think there's a probe transfer that's about to walk into siege tank range, except that the tank's just unsieged. Oh, okay, that's a science facility. Okay, that's why. That's why there's nothing mining there. That's a science facility, not a command center. Meanwhile, there's a few units still at the back here. I don't know if that was another recall, or if those were just left over from... I guess that was another recall there into the back. The mineral only wasn't even taken. Hiya, meanwhile, is now attacking into the top right. A few random Protoss units going to get owned here as they scout this. Sky doesn't seem to have a big enough ball to actually take down this Terran army. So he's just kind of pulling back. He's waiting for reinforcements. He's got to do something quick, though. He really does not want to lose his base. He's already lost the 9 o'clock just to a handful of siege tanks there. And Sky... Is it just me, or does Sky play with relatively low APM? Maybe he's just Protoss. Low. And here we go, the Zealot streaming out, the big stasis on the siege tanks. This is a good engagement though. Oh my god, Sky crushes Hiya's army, and Sky doesn't have anything behind. GG's out, and Sky goes up 2-0 against Hiya, barely.